Feelin Fab is more than another wellness podcast. We will talk about topics that also include happiness hacks, biz inspiration, how-to topics, and interviews from experts in many fields. We hope to help you navigate your life with some helpful tools and tips to keep on grooving and staying happy. Welcome to the Feelin Fab Podcast, and I'm your host, Marissa. Hey, podcast listeners, welcome back to the Feelin Fab Podcast. I'm so excited for today's topic. It was a topic that one of you submitted, and I knew that I needed help on this topic because I'm not a professional when it comes to this topic. So today we're talking about all things finding your style with my fashionista friend Aly, and I am so excited to have her on the show. She's someone that I have grown up with for many, many years in my neighborhood, and she's always had a great sense of fashion. And she just told me that she was voted best dressed in, was it 9th grade, Aly?
Yeah, it was 9th grade. Which
so I love
so
that.
long ago, and that is funny to me, but yeah.
Yes. So anyways, guys, welcome Aly Wells to the show. Here we are.
Thank you so much.
Yay. So Aly, I think this is your first podcast, but tell the listeners a little bit about you, what you do for work, and maybe some future goals and dreams that you have.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm Aly. I have just always loved clothing and fashion and dressing up and all of that. And I never really thought too much about it being a career until a couple of years ago. And I decided to go to Slick's Fashion Institute and really pursue it. And so right now it's been about a year, but I've been styling photo shoots for a local boutique, and I just landed my first big girl job at Jane.com as their fashion stylist. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
That's so exciting. So how did you land a job? Because I feel like there's so many of us that we find something that we're really passionate about, like, oh, I'm really passionate about this or that. And then we're like, but how do I get a job doing it? So was it just someone that you knew? Did you apply for a lot of different jobs? Like, I would love to hear about how you landed your big girl job.
Yeah. So it's actually crazy because 2020, I just kind of was like, yeah, this year has gone down the drain, and I wasn't expecting or even looking for anything because I love where I'm at right now. But I was, I don't know, I was just scrolling through the internet and found this job opening with Jane, and it was listed as a junior fashion stylist. I was like, well, that'd be really cool. So I just applied. And, it was kind of a long interview process. They put me through 4 interviews. And I don't know, basically how I feel like I got there was I just looked for opportunities to grow as a stylist outside of what I was doing at school and at work, and just found opportunities where I could style photo shoots. And then with the boutique that I work with now, she had me come to a few shoots to cringy model because I'm the worst model. I'd rather be behind the scenes and do a lot of like the creative side of things instead of being in front of the camera. But anyways, that's another thing. Anyways, so
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just got more involved in that and kind of built a portfolio, and I feel like that is what made me even considered for this job that I just accepted.
That's great. I feel like it's so hard getting that first, where you feel like it's a real job, or, if you're owning your own business, like finally getting it off the ground to where you feel like you're making a really big profit instead of just investing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to hear that you're having some success.
Yeah,
And what exactly are you going to be doing like at Jane? Because I don't really know like what a fashion stylist is.
Yeah, so what I'll be doing, it's a brand new position, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking, I don't know. So I feel really honored that they've trusted me with this new position. But basically, they have um, editorial shoots that are like more lifestyle with people in them to show you like, oh, they're smiling and having a good time in these clothing, um, in this, yeah, in their outfits and things that they sell on the website. But what I will be doing is brand new. It's a green screen. And I don't know if I can really be talking too much about it.
Yeah, spill all the tea.
But yeah, it's a really cool opportunity because it allows Jane to be more diverse with their models, with, you know, all types of things like age and ethnicity and size. So I'm really excited to work on that because I think that is super important. And yeah, I'm really excited.
Awesome. I'm excited for you too.
Thank you.
Now, growing up, one of my favorite shows was What Not to Wear. Did you ever watch that?
Yes. Oh, that's great.
I'm just having a flashback to them always saying, like, never wear stripes. And now I feel like stripes are super in, and like plaid shirts and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's funny how fashion comes and goes, you know, throughout the seasons and years. And if you had to pick like a decade, like to describe your fashion sense, like what would you say?
Oh my gosh. I love that because I have always loved like breaking up fashion into decades. I don't know. I've been obsessed with decades. And it probably comes from a Mary Kate and Ashley movie, but that's so funny. I really gravitate towards the 70s. And I have for a long time. I threw like a disco party when I was like 11 for my birthday. So I've always loved.
You're in my pictures.
Yes, you threw a disco party too. I remember. The best. So good. But I love like the warm tones of the 70s. I love suede. So I would probably go with the 70s.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I'm probably right on the cusp there of like 60s and 70s. Hence my podcast name and my branding is very hippie vibes.
Love it.
The Feelin Fab. But yeah, I love like, you know, bell sleeves, lots of flowy material. I'm not really into skinny jeans or low-rise jeans. I'm glad that those are kind of going away. So anyways, I love that.
Yeah.
So what are some tips that you might give to listeners that don't really feel like they have a fashion sense? I mean, that includes me, but I can get it together sometimes. What are some tips and tricks that you would give someone that is like, I don't have any sense of fashion. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, it's so funny because people ask me that a lot because they're like, oh, well, you go to fashion school. And I think it's so, one, flattering that they'll ask me, but the thing that I love most about fashion and style is that everyone does have their own sense of style, whether you realize it or not. Like you do, and I think that like if you really want to hone in on what your style is, I think a good tip is just to like go to your closet and literally take an inventory of what you have and what you really like to wear. And then another tip I think is, trying to figure out what is your aesthetic. Like, what do you want to showcase? Like, what do you want to show people from the inside? Like, what are your interests and what's your lifestyle like? And then figure out how you can portray that outwardly.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that tip. A tip I learned from some sort of like organizational show, can't remember, Love Like Marie Kondo and all the like home edit. So this kind of relates, but I did hear a tip once. So you can take your hangers and you can put them backwards in your closet. And then as you wear items, you kind of flip the hanger around and it can help you see what you're gravitating towards wearing in your closet so that you can minimize and declutter the things that you aren't wearing. But it can also help you see like maybe certain colors that you gravitate to, or if you're really enjoying certain types of fabric or things like that. But I love that tip. That's something that I did last year and it helped me minimize my closet a bit and really realize like what do I actually like to wear.
Yeah, no, I think that's super smart. I know that I've done a whole bunch of things. I am really bad. I have like the most disorganized closet in the world. But one thing that I started to do this year was colorize my closet, and that's really helped me to see what colors I do like to wear. Um, and yeah, that's helped me get dressed too. So I'm like, okay, what do I feel like wearing today? I think color is a huge thing with style. And I think it also helps with your mood. Like color is the science of color, psychology of color, I think is what they call it.
Yes, I've been doing that too. I have my whole closet like in rainbow order.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it in chunks. Like I don't know how anybody else does it, but I have like all my short sleeve shirts and then I have them like rainbow, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue,
Yeah.
black, gray. Then I have my long sleeve shirts and I have those in rainbow order. So that's how I've been doing it. It's been working well for me. But yeah, that's so fun. Another thing that has helped me really figure out my fashion sense is to just look on Pinterest and like make some mood boards.
Mm-hmm.
So like I knew that I really like 60s and 70s fashion as well. So I would just kind of like search on Pinterest for photos of that type of clothing. And now like I have those in a mood board on my Pinterest, and when I go out to shop, or thrifting or things like that, I can kind of have an eye for that type of clothing that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you go shopping, there's like so much stuff, it's overwhelming. And just having certain color palette that I know that I like, or certain type of sleeve or things like that, helps me shop better so that I'm not just buying stuff and returning it.
Yeah, no, I think that's so smart. And I love that we have like Pinterest and these things that help with style. And I mean, I think that's why when we look at kids who are younger, like in junior high and high school, we're always like, wait, why are they so much cuter than when I was in high school? And it's because they have these like tools to look for inspiration and yeah, to kind of hone in on their own style. And I'm like, man, I wish we had Pinterest when I was in high school.
Oh, mercy. I had no style. My style was Aeropostale.
Yeah, well, okay, we have to talk
and
about
American Eagle jeans.
the style during the like late 2000s was rough. It was rough for us kids.
It was like pick a store,
Yeah.
and then that store is like your brand, and then you just wear the brand,
Yeah.
and that's like who you are.
That's true. Yeah, it was like if you wore Abercrombie, you were like a cool kid.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny now, like as I've gotten older, I really don't like branded clothing.
Mhm.
Like I don't really want people to know where I got my shirt or my pants. So I definitely feel like part of my style now is like brandless clothing. I don't know. That's something that I just don't really look for anymore. And even with graphic tees, I'm starting to gravitate away from those as well. I'm like, I don't really want people reading what I have written across my chest.
Yeah, no, I found myself doing the same kind of thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want something that screams like so obviously the kind of music I listen to, or like I don't know, like the t-shirts that are like
Yes.
carry on, don't worry, or something. I don't know. It's like
let's talk about it. Or I had a shirt that's like taco cat spelled backward as taco cat.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not really my style anymore. So
yeah. Well, like that's the thing with style too, is like it's always evolving. So I think that's what's fun about it, is you can always change it up. You can always kind of grow. And I don't know, I feel like I've been shifting in my own style this year as well. I'm sure everyone's been feeling a shift in lots of different aspects of their life in 2020. But yeah, I think that's what's really cool about style, is that it's fluid. It's always changing.
I like that. So I'm like giving tips, but another tip, because I just have struggled, but another tip that I have is to get like just some neutral, plain colored stuff that is like nice quality. And then at least for me, like with the more trendy stuff, that's what I don't feel like I want to spend as much money
Mhm.
on. So like I spend my money on good jeans. I like nice quality t-shirts because you can mix and match them in so many ways, and good shoes. Like gone are the days when I used to just have like 2,000 pairs of cheap shoes from like Charlotte
Yeah.
Russe. I like good quality shoes now.
Mhm.
So that would be probably my tip if you're just like, I don't even know where to begin, is just to like start with the high quality, like the pieces that you wear every day. And then for the trendy things, like, yeah, you can go shop somewhere else for like the trendy things and not spend as much money.
Yeah.
But that's something I've been doing in my closet.
No, I think that's really a good tip. And for me, because I I love to play around with trends and stuff, but you know they're gonna come and go, and some have very short lives. So I love to thrift, and I think it's super important just because you know we have so much clothing on the world, like in the world, and we don't really need to be making any more. And so I think a good way to try out trends, because everything gets recycled, like styles come back, is to
Mm-hmm.
thrift and to find pieces that are similar to the trends that are out now, and guarantee you'll be able to find something at the thrift store that has come back in style. And that way you don't have to spend a lot of money on trends that aren't going to last a long time, and you can have fun trying new things out.
Yeah, for not very
Mm-hmm.
expensive.
Yeah.
So, like, do you have any tips on thrifting? Because sometimes when I go to the thrift store, I'm just so overwhelmed by the stuff. And, or I feel like my husband's like in a hurry, so I don't have like as much time as I want to look around.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, give us maybe some tips that you have on thrifting and just finding some good stuff
Yeah,
there.
I would say I love thrifting. I thrift a lot, and I would say that the majority of my closet is actually thrifted. Um, and that's something I actually am like really proud of.
Yes, that's awesome.
um, yeah, I think that you have to be in the right mindset when you go into a thrift store. A lot of the time, like you have to be patient, and you also have to go in with an open mind. And for me, a lot of the time, I try and thrift in textures because I really like. Um, for me, if it's not going to be something that's comfy and that feels good on my body, I'm not going to wear it. So that's something that I always keep in mind when I'm thrifting, is just feeling fabrics. Also, I go honestly with a thrift wish list. Um, so I kind of like make a list mentally in my head of like, okay, what am I really looking for? And I think that that helps narrow things down. Um, so I think that's a good starting point, is to go, okay, like, am I looking for a denim jacket, like a really cool denim jacket? Or am I looking for really good vintage jeans? Or am I looking for suede or cottons, linens, things like that? So I don't know if that helps, if that's a good tip or
Oh, yeah.
not. But color
Allie,
too.
didn't you used to work at a thrift store at Plato's
I
Closet?
did, yeah, like right after high
I
school.
remember that
Yeah,
now.
that feels like,
Yeah.
wow, another lifetime. But yes, I loved it. And I think that might have jumped my thrifting like love for it. I don't know. Yeah.
Addiction. Just kidding. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Plato's Closet. I feel like I can go there and find stuff that is in style right
Mm-hmm.
now, but I don't have to pay as much for it necessarily. Sometimes when, at least, I don't know, I live in the country out here, so I feel like the Goodwills and some of the smaller thrift stores don't always have very good clothes, at least for
Mm-hmm.
me, but the Plato's Closet in my area always has good things, and I love to take stuff there and get a little back
Yeah.
for some new purchases as
No,
well.
it's awesome. And one thing I was going to say, like, yeah, if you live in an area that doesn't have great thrift stores, there are so many thrifting apps that we have in the palm of our hands, and it's amazing. Some that I use are Poshmark, ThreadUp, Depop, And there's like some that I haven't ever used that I looked up before this podcast because I was like, I know we're going to talk about thrifting because that's what I'm passionate about. So
Yes.
there's like Mercari and Tradesy. And there's, I mean, Etsy has a bunch of vintage sellers that are really fun to look at. Instagram, people sell their clothes on Instagram all the time. It's so fun.
I love it.
Yeah, even the Goodwill has a website where you can bid on items, and it's amazing.
That's so cool. I will definitely link all of those apps/sites that Aly just mentioned in the show notes if you want to go back and check out any links. Those will be linked there. But yeah, I have used a couple of those. I've used Poshmark a few times before, and I really like that on Poshmark, for example. Like, I knew that I wanted chacos, and I didn't care if they were used or, had been worn before, so I could just go search there, like chacos size 10, and I could literally find some in my size that somebody else didn't want anymore. So that's brilliant. Also, eBay. Did we mention eBay?
No, but that
I
is on
still
my
shop on
list.
eBay sometimes.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And like, yeah, they have search bars. So it's so easy to like search for exactly what you want.
Yeah, and that makes it a little less stressful than going into the thrift store and seeing a sea full of unused goods.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's fun too. Like, definitely if I've got like my sister or, my mom in town, like, we just want to go to the thrift store and like go on a treasure hunt. So it just depends on, I guess, what you have time for.
Oh, yeah.
But there are definitely modern conveniences if you want to thrift and save money and still have a sense of fashion. But I think the hardest part is just figuring out what you want to wear.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like really figuring out what your aesthetic is and just like honing in on what you want to portray to the world.
So I have a question. Yeah. Do you feel like there is like certain color palettes that only work with certain like skin tones or hair colors? Like, do you think that that is a real thing or more of a myth?
I tend to think it's more of a myth. But I mean,
yeah,
because I feel like you can wear whatever you want to wear as long as you feel comfortable and confident in it. But I do think there are certain colors that make people feel better about themselves. And with that said, there are some colors that do wash people out.
Yes. Like, I don't really wear any white. I know a lot of people like to wear white. I just don't like to wear white, and I don't like to wear like bright yellow.
Yeah.
But like you, for example, like you look so good in yellow because you're like Belle. I don't know. You've got like that really pretty like long brown hair and like brown eyes and just a really good skin tone. So I definitely agree with you that you could wear whatever you want, but there's definitely things that might look better just depending on how you feel. And you might just have to feel it out.
Yeah.
See, how do I feel in this?
Sure. I think that's like probably the majority of my answers is like, do you figure out what works for you? Because there are like, I mean, I went to school and we talked about certain rules of fashion and styling, but rules are meant to be broken. So there is this quote from a blogger that I follow and YouTuber. Her name is Beth Jones, but she has this phrase that she's kind of coined that's just, it's super simple. It's just always play dress up. And that's what is fun. It should be fun to get dressed. It should be fun to play around with your style and figure out what you want to wear and what makes you feel good and what makes you feel confident. So I love that. Always play dress up.
That is great advice. I feel like many of us, especially with this 2020 year, have been living in our t-shirts and sweatpants. But I notice a really big difference, even if I'm just going to work in my office at my house. I notice a really big difference if I actually get myself dressed for the day and maybe put a little effort into the hair and brush my teeth,
Yes.
So I think that really, like, your style can greatly influence your confidence and your mood.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. I used to work from home a couple years ago, and then I'm kind of moving towards that with this new job that I'm starting. So I think it's so important to get yourself ready, and it totally changes your mood. To even put on like a swipe of lipstick will help.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. I love
So yeah,
that.
I think, yeah, getting yourself ready and putting on something that makes you feel better is an instant mood booster.
Yes. And for those of you that might be like a small business owner or just a creative or an entrepreneur of some kind, I think it's great to not only have a style for yourself, but like a style for your brand and your message. So, something that I did this year just to get a little more clear on my brand, maybe you've noticed it on my website and Instagram pages and things like that, but I actually made a color palette of like colors that I like for my brand, but they're also colors that I like to wear, just as an FYI. And like I picked some outfits that I really like, and I did photo shoots in those outfits. So that's what comes across as my brand. And I think just like having that confidence in really understanding your style for either your personal self or for your branding brings like a very much elevated aspect to your business or
Yeah.
yourself.
I like what you said about, I don't know, taking pictures of what you've put on. I mean, this might be so off of what you just said, sorry. But what I started to do a little over 2 years ago was just kind of taking pictures of my outfits because I wanted to hone in more on what my style was. So and I put them in a folder in my phone of just outfits that I liked. Not every single outfit that I wore did I take a picture of, but just the ones that I really liked. And so then I was like, oh, well, I really felt good in that. And so I'll go to my outfit album and play on those or switch them up a little bit or see if like I can recreate something in a different outfit that will make me feel confident.
Or literally just put it on again because you knew that
Yeah,
it worked.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with outfit repeating.
Oh, yeah. Especially these days when you don't see people for like days at a time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely actually wearing the same thing I wore yesterday. So
I love it.
it's
Yeah.
all good. Well, that's so fun. Do you have any other pieces of advice on like finding your own style or anything else that you'd like to leave us with?
Let me think. I think, yeah, just like a way to be more confident. It's just realizing, yeah, that like life is fluid and it's okay to switch up your style. And um, there's a quote from John Mayer because we both love music. We both love John. I saw
Oh
that
my gosh.
he
Love
was
John.
your,
He's my
yeah, he
number
was your
one.
artist of the year. He was my
Spotify.
artist of the decade last
Yep.
year when they did the decade. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm obsessed with him. Anyways, he has this quote about style, and I always think about it when I get dressed in the morning. And he says, if there's something that you like and you put it on and you look in the mirror and you like it, go out in it. And that should just be the end of it. Like, if you like what you're wearing, go out in it and feel confident. And yeah, that's just simple, but I think it's true.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
John Mayer.
He's so
For your
wise.
words of wisdom. So wise. And he has such a style, like not my style, but it's his style and I love it that he just like owns it.
Yeah, he's great. I love him so much.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of celebrities might have help with their fashion or their styling, but yeah, John Mayer's like someone that I look at and I'm like, oh yeah, he picks that out.
Yeah, I think that he's got his own
I don't know.
he's got his own thing going on. He does it well.
Yes. So fun.
Yeah.
Well, Aly, if people like wanted help with their fashion sense, like could they maybe like follow you on Instagram, or do you have any like places to send people if they want to learn more about you or fashion or things in between that?
Shameless plug. I have a fashion account actually that I don't super put out there in the world, but it's fashion, FASHUN, like fashion, .al.
Okay.
That's my Instagram handle where I post just everyday outfits of mine, mostly for me, but if you want to follow along, it's welcome.
Following.
That's so sweet. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys can definitely go look at Aly's fashion pics for inspiration.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's fun. It's just fun for me. And yeah, if people want to follow along, it's welcome.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today with Aly talking all about fashion, finding your sense of style. Make sure to go keep up with her on her Instagram account for more pictures and inspiration. And we would love to hear what you thought about the show. So if you haven't left a review yet, you can go over and leave a rating and a review. That helps the podcast be found by other listeners, and it also helps me know what you guys are liking and the content that you're enjoying. I've been really loving connecting with old friends and hearing about their interests and creative careers. So if you know anyone else that would like to be a guest on the podcast, I would love to interview them and just send them my way to the Feelin Fab Podcast Instagram. I'd be happy to chat with you there. We will catch you next week for another fabulous Friday.
Bye.
Bye.